What's up, guys? Welcome back for another episode of Asking for a Friend.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
girl. Listen, it's been a hot minute. All right, we're
Hot
going to
minute.
go ahead and address the elephant in the room. I'm going to cough. I'm going to cough. My childhood asthma has decided to make a strong comeback, a resurgence, if you will. I'm back on my freaking rescue inhaler. Where's your crack stick? We're going to leave it right here.
Oh,
The Vicks
still gonna hit this.
stick. I'm going to have to hit this. I am having the hardest time. If you have never experienced asthma, it is the worst thing in the world because you can get the breath in, but you never feel like you get enough breath in. And it's intense inflammation in like your bronchial tubes. And so as I'm talking or as I'm breathing, it's vibrating and it feels like bees are in my chest. So I have to cough to scratch the itch in my it's horrible.
All I know is the fact that you can survive after taking a hit off of that inhaler. You're a superhero.
Oh girl,
I,
it's rough.
one time, it's all it took for me. One time I learned my lesson. The devil came to visit. I thought I was dying and going to heaven.
Yeah.
I slid out of the office chair into the floor and I was like, I'm just going to lay here.
It is rough. I
Oh, it was
remember
so
as a
bad.
kid because as a kid I had to do the breathing treatments, which are like 100 hits of the rescue inhaler at once. And so I
Ooh.
would I would do these breathing treatments and it would send me into orbit and I would literally be vibrating in my seat. And mom took me back to the doctor and I jumped from the exam table onto Dr. Curry like spider monkey style. And she caught me as soon as she walked through the door. And mom was like, what the hell is wrong with my kid? And she was like, oh my God, I forgot to tell you about this side effect. You have to force her to sit still. Well, ma'am, first of all, I am riddled with ADHD.
How do you force that?
You have to literally like sit and force yourself to breathe, and you are vibrating in a different dimension.
I owe you an apology for years. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought she was just a little bit dramatic. You are not. I feel like you sorely undersold that. You did not warn anyone appropriately. Rude.
I took a hit of my rescue inhaler
Absolutely not.
this morning when I was doing a live on my TikTok page, and I was like, because you talk and you're animated, and I'm like doing my makeup and my hair, and all of a sudden I was
You're
like,
zing.
yeah, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I just gotta take a minute. I was like, people are gonna think I just did like crack or something.
That
It's
stuff
just
is no
a
joke.
rescue inhaler. It's okay. But anyways, so that's where I'm at. I'm gonna be hitting this little Vic stick. It's not drugs. It's over the counter. It just helps to soothe like the intense vibration in my lungs. But okay, so today I was preparing to do something, a what we call a golden nugget. And it
I'm really struggling with the name.
I told Tutu what it was. I was like, this is a
And she said it with a straight face and was wondering why I was so confused.
she was like, the strip joint?
I'm with it. Okay, continue.
Okay, so we call our bonus episode Golden Nuggets because they're little golden nuggets of wisdom that I have had to do all the work in my life to find. However, the golden nugget was a real high class strip joint back where we're from.
High class.
Listen, I think it was like a step up from a truck stop strip joint. No shade. No shade.
No shit. Make your money.
Do it. Grab your bag. Just sanitize it before you get it home.
Drop it like it's hot or gold, whatever.
So, I was gearing up to do a gold nugget about this topic. And when I came to you and talked to you about it, you were like, get out of town. I actually got an inquire for AFAF. So, this is going to be kind of a mesh between the two of those. So, do you want to read your question?
I will listen. I left it at my desk because I can't prepare for anything. So let
Oh,
me tell you what it
paraphrase it.
said. So homegirl messaged in and she was like, "Hey girl, hey, I got this friend." Well, she wanted to know what we thought.
Yeah.
So she's got this friend. They've been friends for years and years, a long time. They've been through all kinds of mess together, done seen through it all, right?
Yeah.
At a girl.
Yeah.
Well, then she tells me that her friend has the friend and the husband has separated, filed for divorce, and immediately she doesn't know how to feel. She's very torn because they've been friends for so long. The friend, is wanting support, right? Like
Yeah.
she's coming to you because she's hurt. She's all these things. She's like, I feel instantly sorry. Like she loves her friend. She feels bad that this is happening.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, she feels hurt and she feels angry because she had been through a divorce. And when she would come to her friend, she's wanting
Yes.
compassion. She's wanting support. She's
Yeah.
wanting to vent to her friend. And the friend would make light of her concerns or her hurt.
Yep.
And make it as not big of a deal, and always wanting to flip it to, like, maybe from this perspective.
Very gaslighting.
Said that
like totally devaluing your experience and your feelings.
Yep.
Yes.
Said that there were even times that she felt like she was against her, right? Like she got to a point where she didn't even feel like she could come to her friend and vent anymore. She said what was puzzling, though, is that she and this friend have not talked in a minute. The last conversation didn't go great, and she just got to a space where she just shut up.
Yeah.
She didn't want to argue. She didn't want to hear it because the friend was very negative and could not relate or support.
Yeah.
And so now this friend has reached out because she's hurt. She's going through a big deal, and that's your best friend for years and years.
Yeah.
And she said she was talking about it to another girlfriend of hers, and they were really trying to figure out, like, is this where you start drawing boundaries at?
Yeah.
Like, is she valid in feeling hurt? Like, is her friend being selfish? Is her friend is that just her personality? She doesn't want to, she almost feels, she said she felt like it was her duty. Yeah. Like she owed this to her loyalty. I think we've all
felt that. I know exactly. Yep. So,
how would we feel if we had a friend?
Okay, let me share a personal story. I'm not going to name the friend publicly, but this is an absolutely true story that happened to me. So, I had a friend who I have known since I was 12, 13 years old. At one point in my life, considered her my very best friend, and went through all the things, grew up, teen experiences, like weddings. We were in each other's weddings. We had kids, like the whole gambit. But I was always made to feel like I wasn't quite good enough. Like, it was just these weird things that she would do when we were like in bigger groups. I was the lesser accepted of the two of us, and I was never quite good enough. I was never quite polished enough. I was not quite well spoken enough. Like, I just didn't quite hit the same mark. And she very much gave me like this, this feeling that I was never going to live up to quite how good she was. I'm saying quite enough. Guys, let's leave that there. But when my ex-husband and I decided to separate and ultimately divorce, she in the beginning tried to talk me out of it, which I feel like every good friend in the beginning does try. It's like, you think you're doing the right thing by going, don't do that, stick it out, whatever. But when I really planted my feet in and was like, no, this is what I'm doing, she separated herself. And instead of chasing her and begging her to be my friend, I was in this phase in life of, if you want to leave, there's the door. And I'm telling you, I was like escorting people left, right, and center. rocked on. Um, I built a life without her in it. And our dad passed away last fall. And it just so happened around the same time, she lost a good friend of hers in an accident. And I knew that that happened. However, I wasn't close to that friend. I saw it, in the news and whatnot. And so I was sad about the whole situation. It's very sad. The whole family
Right.
died
Yeah.
and the sister was left. And so I was empathetic, but I chose not to reach out because she's built a life without me in it, and she's a stranger to me. I don't know her anymore.
Right.
And she reached out in a state of grief and was giving condolences about dad being gone, and I was in such a place of like I had to numb everything at that point. And there was a moment where I was so pissed off because I was like, how dare you reach out because you think because you're in a space of grief and I'm in a space of grief that we're going to have this Nicholas Sparks rom-com end of the movie scene where we come back together and embrace, and that erases all these years that you turned your back on me and were unsupportive and had literally nothing to do. Like, I've lived a whole fucking life without you in it. And what makes you think I want you in it now? And a lot of people would probably listen to me saying that and go, wow, you're really callous. Like, maybe she was hurting and needed support. Get support from the friends you have now. I'm not one of them. You don't know me.
Listen, I feel like you and I have went through these journeys just at separate times. And you very much went through that. How many years ago has this been? I feel like that's really the turning point of where you started really setting good boundaries and
Yeah. So the divorce happened 9 years ago, something like that. What year are we in?
this is 25.
Yeah, so 9 years ago,
Okay.
8 or 9, something like that.
So mine was 4 years ago.
Okay.
Like when I moved here, that's when
Yeah.
the real like boundaries, and it's not always loud, right? Like with her story, I can very much relate.
Yeah.
There was a huge chunk of people. I am that type of person. Like if I consider you my person and you're
Mhm.
in my circle, I got you.
Yeah.
Like if I said something to you, I meant it with my whole heart.
Yeah.
If I decide to change my mind, I'll tell you that I've changed my mind, but I mean what I say.
Yeah.
And I feel like
You can take it to the bank.
absolutely cash that check 7 days a week.
Yep.
And then when I moved here, I realized there was a lot of one-sidedness, and
Absolutely.
it was very hurtful. I had to stay with you for a couple months while we looked for the house, but
Right.
I don't know how many times I sat on that porch just crying. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm reaching out, you're not reaching out, and I would talk about how scary the move was, and it was just downplayed, right? Like, you made the choice, you did this, and I'm like, and I'm very animated. I'm very
Yeah.
like I am glitter in human form. Like
Very much.
that has always, for the most part, always been me, and that's what I learned. That is my greatest blessing and biggest demise.
Yeah.
Because people love it until it makes them uncomfortable.
Exactly.
And then that's where I started at the layers just kind of started falling, right? When
Yeah.
I moved here, they couldn't feed off that energy anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I was feeding off my own energy or what.
Well, and you were going through a phase where you were shedding a lot of stuff, a lot of anything that didn't serve you, you were throwing it off. And I think that made people close to you that fed off of the chaos and drama that had been happening in your life. It made them feel better about themselves. And so it's almost like they would keep feeding into that.
Yep. Very
And
well.
you started growing and healing and changing, and all of a sudden it exposed a lot of shit in them.
It did. And there was a lot of things that I couldn't believe. Like, I would be, so people would correct me on, or like shame on you, or you know better. I know
Yes.
better. We just did the same thing 7 months ago.
Yep.
How dare you?
Yep.
And I'm the type of person, like, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
Yep.
Also, I don't want to have an opinion about something that I'm not understanding of, well versed on. So I've always asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good trait to have, until people are like, hey, I want you to be understanding and lenient with me when I decide to say something sideways, or talk in a hateful tone, or do something passive aggressive. But you better not.
They want all of the exceptions in the world and all of the grace and empathy and understanding, but they don't want to give that back. And so I think that this is such a valid conversation for women in our stage in life, you know, the 30s to 40 somethings, because sorry, this is something I do a lot of social media research. I scroll and I'll watch and I'll listen to the conversations that other women in our age demographics are going through. And so that's why I started writing this. And it's so what we're talking about is your friend a narcissist? So one of the conversations that I've been seeing that have been had is how friendships with narcissists are actually more detrimental to our mental and spiritual and physical health than romantic relationships with narcissists. And
I think
so valid. So I'm not saying that being in a relationship, like a romantic relationship, isn't hurtful. It is. But there is so much more conversation surrounding that. And so that's understood. And it's like women get more sympathy for coming out of a relationship, a romantic relationship with a narcissist, than they do a friendship.
No, I definitely can see that. Because not that I love one or the other less, but with your girlfriend, right? Like, that is
Yes.
the rawest form. With your partner, you still may be honest and raw.
Yeah.
But there's always, I don't know, I feel like with my girl, like, they see it all, right? Like, they get to my innermost part of my heart and soul.
I will grieve a friendship like a death over a breakup. Well, before Rich.
I'm traumatized. I don't know that any of my grieving for a relationship is healthy, but yeah, like, the friendships that I've
It
had,
hurts deeper.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have written down some points of signs that your friend might be a narcissist, because I think that we overlook a lot. We give a lot of grace to our girlfriends, not realizing that they're waving red flags just as much as a guy would, if not more. So the first sign that I have is that their drama is always louder than yours. And you just touched on this.
Oh, Lord.
Their drama, what they're going through, their feelings. So it's like when you're in a conversation and the spotlight always has to turn back to them. It can't be on you for too long. And I'm not talking about when you're telling a story and they go, oh my gosh, I've been there too. This was my experience. I want someone to do that with me, because that gives me proof that they understand what I'm going through and they're empathetic. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about the bitches that are like, listen, I don't want to hear it. This is what happened to me. And then they go in and it's always the same drama day in and day out.
Or there's always an excuse for why or how it's happening to them, but it's your fault on you, because you knew better, or you behaved like this, or it's your attitude, or it's your thought process. Oh, yeah.
So how would you, because my answer is always going to be boundaries. Cut them off. Like I will dead somebody so fast. I never heard of you. I'm sorry. We were friends when. No, we weren't. You were friends with me, but I wasn't friends with you. No, so I'm bad about just like severing shit off immediately. My pull-out game is strong, ma'am. I will pull out of a situation, friendship so fast.
So I'm behind the 8 ball. when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, you are way ahead of me. Like, I am learning how to set boundaries in a more healthy form, a
Well, I'm
more
not
healthy
saying that's
way.
healthy. I didn't say what I do is healthy.
I think boundaries are very healthy. However, my nickname should be Casper, because it ain't nothing for me to get just full blown amnesia. I don't remember your number. I saw your text. I'm not responding. Like, I just ghost.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to detach from that.
Yeah.
And I'm not addressing them unless pushed. And
Yeah.
then it's, used to.
Because the alternative is fight. Your fight or flight is very well developed, and your fight is nasty.
Nasty. I'm healing. I haven't fought in a while.
Get a girl. Yeah, so I think, like, in that situation, you have to just, I do think because here's the thing, confronting a narcissist is, you can't confront a narcissist. Someone who is not truly a narcissist, who just has learned behavior, those people, you can hold up a mirror to them, but true narcissists, you can't. So you have to cut off their supply. So in that situation, I do think that if you're unsure, my suggestion would be try to confront them and tell them how you're feeling. And if it isn't well received, or they do the whole, oh, well, let me tell you about you. Not saying that you're not also doing things that hurt them, but that's not the moment for them to bring it up. Like, if you're truly coming to them in a place of like honesty and sincerity and going, hey, this thing that you did or said really hurt my feelings, and I've noticed that it's become a pattern, they need to hold on to the other stuff. Just listen, understand, apologize, and then when it's appropriate, bring up the thing that you did. But if they're just deflecting and being super defensive, move on.
But there's another side to that as well.
What's that?
There's the, no, you misunderstood.
Oh,
and then it's even more excuses and explanations as to why it's okay for them, but not you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that really summons my inner Casper. I'm like, well, I'm done with that.
Yeah. No, the only acceptable option for them is to listen, receive, apologize, change behavior. That's it. That's the only activity that we're accepting in 2025, the year of our Lord and Savior. The second point is that you leave every hangout feeling drained, not filled. Your time with your girlfriends, you should feel lighter when you leave. You should feel like, even if it's a bitch session, you should feel relieved when you leave that. You shouldn't feel every single time drained and heavy and like it's a chore.
I think on the flip side of that too, I didn't always feel drained. Not always, but there was always dread before. Like
Oh.
the dragging my feet to get to a phone call, dragging my feet to do a hangout. Because it was just like nothing necessarily would happen every time, but it was almost like feeling an energy, like just, oh, I don't want to explain myself again. I don't want to, because it wasn't always, for my experience, it wasn't always you did this, you did that. It would be little comments about my personality or how I lived my life, or just a constant, well,
Yeah.
Danny does this or Danny does.
Like you were being dismissed.
Or minimized.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm too big to be minimized. You better get the hell out of here. So dreading the anticipation of it.
Yeah.
Whereas there were other friendships that I was like, gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm there 30 minutes early. What you meant 7? I'm here at 6:30.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see the difference in like leaving interactions with you or Meredith where I'm like, I can't wait. We're leaving one interaction going, all right, when do you want to plan the next, get together or dinner or whatever? And so I definitely feel like If you have a consistent feeling of dread or draining, that's not a good relationship to be in. That's not a good friendship to have. Really, maybe start keeping track of that. The third one, she love bombs you and then ghosts you.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk about that one because I do that. I'm not a narcissist. I just need therapy.
Here's the thing about you. You're a single mom with a full-time job. And when I say single mom, I don't mean like your kid goes to her dad's every other weekend. You're 100% of the time single mom, except for the summer and maybe one other time during the school year.
Yeah.
Christmas, you know? So you kind of have an excuse for going long periods of time between interactions with people, but also there is a difference in being a genuinely positive, fun person and love bombing someone. And this is something I think that people really need to understand is love bombing is a is never about this person. It's about that person. It's about them walking away with a feeling of accomplishment, like they have um, positioned themselves to be in a seat of manipulation. And so it's as soon as you walk in, it's never from a place of support. It's never like, "Oh my god, girl, you look so great." It's you come here, let me reconnect this love supply. I need to tell you how great and wonderful you are and how much I love you and how my life wouldn't be complete without you and you're just the most incredible person on earth. Do you see the difference in the way those two things feel?
No. No, because let me tell you, that is something I am working through now. Love bombing is really hard for me to identify.
Really?
It's so hard. And so this has been a recent epiphany. Like, first, we have got to catch up too on so much. I had no idea in my brain what I really processed. My brain can't fathom yet why someone would fake enthusiasm or
Oh,
ride or die
sister.
love, or because if I tell you something, again, cash that check anytime you want. I may not be the friend, like, no, you can't call me. I cannot talk to you on the phone every night for an hour. I'm probably not going to come help you pick out your date outfit. You can shoot me a couple pictures. I'll thumbs up one.
Yeah.
But if you are devastated, if you are hurting, if somebody has hurt you, if somebody look at you funky,
Yeah.
you shoot me that code emoji, I'm riding out right then, slippers and all. I don't even know that I'm going to put my hair in a bun. I'm gone. And in my brain, I can't fathom why everyone isn't like that.
Yeah.
And so it is very hard. I very much, people will, when the love bombing starts, okay, that's how you supposed to mean what you say and say what you mean every time.
Yeah.
And if you change your mind, you just say you changed your mind. That's okay.
Yeah.
And that's really hard for me to identify.
See, I can peg it from a mile away. It has happened so often to me in my life that it's like a script. There are just certain, I don't know if it's like a vibe that I pick up on or if it's words that are consistently said between, like, from narcissist to narcissist, but I'm like, oh, I know you just did not. It is an immediate turnoff with anyone. Even if it's somebody that I'm just meeting for the first time, I can clock them in that moment. Even if they're not trying to love bomb me, it's like a script that they have. It's learned behavior. Whether they're truly a narcissist or just have narcissistic tendencies. And I'm going to harp on that because not everyone who has some narcissistic tendencies are narcissists. That is learned behavior. They've learned how, probably from a narcissist, how to be manipulative in certain situations. And let me be clear, everybody is manipulative to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
That's human nature. That is just human behavior. And so some people pick up on it and have learned that behavior and learned, oh, if I do that, then this gets me what I want. That's a completely different thing than what a true narcissist is. And so, but even if it's just narcissistic behavior, I can pick up on it, and it is like nails on a chalkboard for me.
That one. Now, you know how I am with energies. Like, some people get around me and I'm like,
Yeah.
And you'd be like, what in the world happened? Not a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever is on their little energy field makes mine feel icky. I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to give you an explanation. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
But you let me try to identify any kind of love bomb. Nope. Because in my brain, I'm like, oh, well, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuine.
Right.
That one really gets me.
But that's the thing, because you truly come from a place of love, and you really do support people like that, like no questions asked, from a genuine place in your soul, that you're so pure in that aspect. It's hard. That's why, girl, man down. Don't let me catch somebody slipping and playing with my sister. Don't play with me. But that's definitely a good one. The next one we kind of touched on, well, you touched on it. There's always chaos, but they're never the problem.
Or theirs is bigger than yours. That drives me nuts.
Oh, yeah, but it's never from their doing. It's happening to them, not because of them.
Listen, so I have another little friendship
that
really, like, irks my nerves. Because, first of all, friend, we was doing outside activities at the same time. We had our whole phase at the same time. We were sharing stories and giving tips. Like, we knew all the things. And suddenly, I am so happy for you. You have found the love of your life. I am so freaking happy for you. But suddenly, you know what's best for me and how I need to do this. And Sir, I need you to lower your opinion. Because how dare you all
are we talking about? Okay, that's who I thought.
But now all of a sudden it's different. Well is a very deep subject you and I don't need to get into, because I will drown your ass down there. All of a sudden, you would never. Yes, you would. You never a lot. What the hell are you talking about?
I know, it's like they have amnesia from...
Now, very, very, very unhealed Danielle would have called it. We would have had to talk about it out loud from our chest.
Yeah.
Halfway healed Danielle. We're not all the way healed. We're just a halfway healed.
Healing, not healed.
That's it. I was like, well, put that a little bow on it. A little glitter wrap, and I'm going to just leave it right there on the shelf.
That goes back to something that I posted the other day. Just because I don't address it doesn't mean I didn't see it. I am the queen of clocking behavior and filing it away, because I will pull your file at a moment's notice. Don't give me a reason to. And that's the thing, like, I've learned to leave people where they're at. I used to be so obsessed with fixing people, and I realized that came from a place of brokenness. I had an ex-boyfriend between my divorce and meeting Rich, and he was a train wreck. He was a J name. We'll leave it there.
That's all I needed to know about him.
He was a train that was carrying flammable liquids that met a semi-tractor trailer. Like, that's the type of awful he was. And I vividly remember, it was a very short-lived relationship. Very short, very toxic. And I remember vividly the moment where a light bulb came on. And he did something, and I was like, my brain audibly thought, I couldn't fix my mom, but I'm going to fix him. And I went, oh. Come again? What did she just say? I was like, and we won't. And I just quietly packed his shit and put it outside. I was like, you're leaving. He was like, oh, I am. I was like, yes, today. You're leaving now. At this moment. I'll give you gas money. You have to leave my property, though. And it was just like that. And that's how it is for me, is I am, from that moment forward, I was like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm not fixing your shit. If you don't take personal responsibility to fix yours, that's not on me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the healing people business. And I don't. it's real. It's got to be real special for me to even address bad behavior because you are not my child. I'm not doing it. So there's that's what it is for me. How did we get here? She's never the problem.
Girl, I don't know. You know, we just like going down rabbit holes. Whee!
That's my tangent. Oh, because I'll clock your behavior. I will clock it in a minute, and you'll never hear a word from me.
You were talking about leaving people where they're at.
Absolutely.
I had a really hard time with that.
You're really good at it now, though.
I know, cause listen, Khloe Kardashian, she don't even know she did it.
Don't you love her? Can we please put to bed Beyonce and raise up Khloe? I feel like this is the year of Khloe Kardashian.
I love me some Khloe
Kardashian.
She's
the fucking goat.
She healing stuff. She don't even know she healing.
Ain't she though?
Mm-hmm.
Like her mommy and daddy issues. Lamar, like she's such a good
I have watched that scene with her dealing with Lamar 5 times because there's something in it that I'm like, it's helping me, right? The way she but that watching her and how one of her most popular reactions, right, is oh. So when things start happening, my inner Khloe starts oh, and then I watched an old episode of the Kardashians where she was doing the cookie jars very particularly, and I thought that's so pretty. And this is how my brain tracked with my little ADD moment. I went from her making that snack closet look so organized and pretty, and then when she saw the therapist that was working with her refrigerator,
grapefruits,
I was so upset with her. I was like, "Don't mess with her refrigerator. It's real pretty. She's fine. It is color coded. Get the hell home.
She got her life together."
Exactly. So in my brain, what I did is I have a Khloe Kardashian brain. When I'm ready to leave,
WWKD. What would Khloe do?
I have this beautiful wall, very glitter wall paint. The shelves are bedazzled. It is so pretty. And I put you in a box, and I even go through the time to pick out the color of the glitter paper I'm going to wrap you in, and I just put them on that shelf. And every once in a while, when I start thinking I'm going to go back, I go look at them pretty boxes. I'm like, no, I want it to move. And I just do some dusting and keep them right there and move on.
You've been shelved.
Khloe has no idea she did this for me.
Look at
Listen, I need to send her therapy payments.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? All hail Khloe. I love that. All right, the next one. Accountability. Never met her.
None.
Never heard of her. Couldn't be me.
They gonna tell you what you should be doing though.
But never them. All right. So here's what we're going to talk about. Setting boundaries without guilt. And I feel like you just touched on that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Get you a Khloe Kardashian wall in your brain and put them in a box.
You don't owe them. Like we said earlier, you start with
a conversation.
Light confrontation of, hey, and it doesn't have to be like hateful or defensive. Just like, hey, I wanted to talk to you about something that's been going on. And always use I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel when you do this, I've noticed that this has become kind of a trend with us. And when you do this action, I feel sad. I feel disregarded. I feel unheard and unsupported. And if you use verbiage like, well, you always and you never, that immediately sets them up for being defensive. And I don't care if they're narcissistic or not. That's going to go downhill real quick. So always practice I feel.
Absolutely.
And then if that doesn't work, they're not ready to receive it and you can't force somebody to. But if you're clear and it comes from a place of love, then I feel like you have the answer that you need right there. And you don't have to over-explain yourself. You don't have to throw yourself on, the floor in front of them and pour your heart out.
I think you and I, that's another thing that I've kind of worked my way. You can do that one time and be done.
Yeah.
In my brain, I have 3 strikes. There's always a 3-strike system. Well, not always, but mostly.
Yeah.
A 3-strike system.
Yeah.
But that 3rd strike, I'm like, oh, you going in a box.
Well, what I've gotten really good at is, like you said, leaving people where they are. It's, I clock their behavior, I note it, and detach emotionally, but they can still be around. They can still be somewhat involved in my it's like I'm the center planet, right? And everything else kind of revolves around and that's those who are in my life. And this is the way I feel like it should be with everyone. Is like this is me. This is the core. This is who I am and everything else revol and so my family is in real tight orbit around me. My kids, you, Rich, the people here at Elite. You guys are my family. And so that runs a real tight ring of orbit around me. And then as you move out from that, that's how much direct interacting that I have with you. And so they just get pushed further out in orbit. And it's like I'm not emotionally entangled with you, even though technically you're in orbit around me. We run in the same circles sometimes. We can be cordial, we can be mature, but if I don't talk to you ever again, it's not going to hurt my feelings. And that's kind of the way I approach it.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. So I can detach emotionally pretty easily without it being catastrophic, and I've stopped explaining myself. I don't need to have a big monologue of you did this and it hurt me and I don't need to explain myself and I don't feel like I don't feel like I have to let you know that you did a thing that hurt my feelings or made me feel a certain type of way. Like it's just a quiet Irish exit.
That may be in a future AFAF because I'm working through that now. I'm working through the quiet and then because I can't be quiet. My head would explode.
Because I don't think I need anything from them. I don't need an explanation. You gave me enough explanation. That's just who you are. I don't feel any responsibility to hold you accountable because I'm that's not my role in your life. I'm not holding you accountable to make you a better person and make you change. That's your responsibility. And so because I'm absolved of all of this responsibility, it brings a lot of peace. I don't know.
It makes sense.
And so the next point is limit access, not compassion. Like because they're not close in my orbit, I can have empathy for them and the things that they're going through. And I feel like that's my compassion. If any of these people were to come to me truly needing help, I would help them, but I wouldn't feel obligated to help. It would come from a place of because I'm a good person and I don't want to see someone suffer, but there's boundaries even with that. You're not taking advantage of me. You don't get to take advantage of my goodness. And you're not going to overstep and interrupt any peace that I have built in my life. Girl, I am protecting my peace. Don't play with me. I am protecting mine, my kids, my husband, my family, my job, my businesses. Don't play with me.
I feel like I think I'm getting better at protecting my peace. However, again, this will end up being a future conversation because I'm still in that mode where I'm having to unpack some things. Sorry, Tutu, I keep hitting the.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I have to unpack and organize everything so I can see, right, like how I'm going to process this.
But you're still learning. A lot of this is your first time.
Sometimes, though, it's a me thing. I won't even blame nobody. It's me. I want you to hear me. I won't act a fool.
Yeah.
But
you'll heal past that, though.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
What's the goal? Because it's happening more and more.
But when you're in that place, is it from a place of you're wanting your voice to be heard or you're and hoping that they'll change and respond differently? Or is it just this is in me, I have every right to get it out, and no matter what you say or how you act, I'm saying my piece?
It's option B because there have been so much that has happened. So some of the stuff I'm healing and working through, there were things that I carried quietly inside, right? Like I didn't hand it back. Like, it was never my responsibility. I was given hurt. I was given traumas that were
Yes.
never mine to carry, but they were given to me regardless.
Yes.
And I carried them for so long. I'm to the point where I am able to identify moments or things where I'm like, wait just a damn minute.
Yeah.
That is not my problem. So let me school you real quick so we clear. Because once I get to that point where I'm like, I've done from my chest, got it all off,
Yeah.
you're not going to ask me a question. You're not going to tell me I'm right. You're not saying nothing. I will interrupt you very, elaborately.
But I feel like that comes from a place for you, and I'm really proud that you're there because you were quieted and you were shut down and hushed for so many years, for such a large part of your life. And I remember when you were really finding your voice, you would second guess it. You would speak up for yourself, but then you'd almost double back on it. And you went through a season of really you doubted yourself a lot. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. You said what you said, you thought it through. This is legit. You had every right to say that and create this boundary and stand on this truth. And so for you, I'm really, really, really proud. And everybody's journey is going to look different, obviously. But you also know from there could be fallout. They're probably going to be pissed off and run a smear campaign behind your back. So I know how I deal with it, but how have you learned to deal with that?
I think there's been a couple of different ways. I really am embracing my Casper lately. I'm just like doop doop. A lot of times it's very direct. I'll correct people, and I will correct you loudly, but I no longer feel like it needs to be an argument or a defense, right? Like I don't have to go to the front line of the battlefields anymore. Oh, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is right. Be blessed, and I'll keep going on a whole nother topic or whatever because we're not discussing it.
Right.
It was a correction. It's like when your teacher hands your paper back, get that red line through the word you misspelled.
Mm-hmm.
We're not discussing it. I'm letting you know that red line's there.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Next time. But
teacher Danny.
but I feel like, I just had a thought. Now my ADD's going to kick in.
No, please. I love these.
With the friends. I feel like, nope, I lost it. My brain's all over the place. You've done triggered my ADD. Good Lord. And I ain't even took your little inhaler.
It's in the room with us.
Oh, never mind. I was just playing. I don't want it. That stuff was really scary. Them inhalers. Girl.
Yeah, girl. I'm telling you, it sends you into the stratosphere. No, but with fallout, with the smear campaign that's inevitable to happen, I do feel like you have to have a case-by-case basis, but also kind of have a game plan. So first of all, I've had many of these ran against me. And drama loves company. The majority of the people out here just want a good, juicy story, right?
Mm-hmm.
The majority of them are so swayed with every time the wind blows. It's like today they love this person, tomorrow they're the biggest villain. Get a good nap in and they're going to feel different again. I do not hear it about me twice. I'll add to it. Whatever makes you feel fluffy on the inside, I don't give a good damn what you think of me because it's going to change.
Absolutely.
Now, if it's something that is going to affect people that I love, I'm probably going to correct it, but I'll only correct it one time. And it will be very, I said what I said it in public. And not only will I tell you what I said, I'm going to tell them what you said too.
I'm going to play you back the recording.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right. Don't play with me.
Oh, I found my thought. With the fallout, here's the other side to, or I feel like there's another side to that, or another type. The fallout they will use as guilt trips as well.
Yes.
That, again, that's what I struggle with, because they already know where you're weak at. They already know where your Achilles heel is.
Yep.
So they're going to go for that. Well,
Yep.
you said you loved me.
And that's where the gaslighting comes in so hard and heavy. And listen, somebody who has complex post traumatic stress disorder from living with or being in some type of relationship with a true narcissist, you create this superpower where your mind is like a steel trap because you were made to feel crazy for so long and question your own reality for so long that you had this innate ability to remember line by line what was said, how it was said, the circumstances surrounding it. And so that guilt tripping, that is part of that gaslighting. No, you're wrong. I didn't say that. What I said was, and it'll be so closely related to actually what they said that you start questioning your reality.
No, see, you got that superpower. I don't have that superpower. I be questioning. I'm like, wait just a damn minute. Because you already know I got dementia.
Yeah,
I can't. And there's sometimes I won't even disagree. I'm like, well, if I did say it, I reckon I meant it. Oh, freaking well.
Not me. Not me. I can, and it's pretty common, with people who've lived through it. Not saying everybody develops it, but it is pretty common because I got so fed up with that. Like, I truly was like tripping balls every day. Like, I don't know what's up, what's down, what's real, what's fantasy. Let me tell you something. Get real comfortable with hitting that record button on your phone. I will record a phone call so fast. I will record an interaction. I will play it back because it's not for my clarity. It's because you ain't about to gaslight me. I know what was said. I tell you the position of the room I was in.
Y'all already know how I roll. If I didn't put it in my little notebook, we're not talking about it later because I ain't going to recall it at all.
It is okay to advocate for yourself in situations like that where they try to guilt trip you and gaslight you and make you feel like, oh no, the most famous one was when we would try to like talk to mom about stuff and she'd go, that's not how that happened.
Yeah.
I don't remember I don't remember it happening that way. Well, bitch, just because you got a bad memory doesn't mean I do. I lived it from this side. And listen, sometimes you just got to agree to disagree. Hey, that's the way you recall it. This is the way I recall it. And, there are moments where in that situation, you're not going to get an apology. You're not going to get that breakthrough that you hope for. And you got to be okay with that. This statement changed my life. I'm okay with being the bad guy in your story.
Absolutely.
Period. If you choose to make me the villain, there's nothing I can do about that. Your opinion of me is none of my business. I'm okay with being the bad guy in your story. Because you the bad guy in my story.
I like to write. I will make you all kinds of things in my story. Lots of adjectives.
You just, there is not going to be closure for some things.
Yeah.
Sometimes friendships end in a ball of flames and there's nothing you can do about it.
Sometimes they just go right on that shelf. Sometimes
they go in a very sparkly box on a very loud, colorful shelf. Bedazzle. Listen, it's okay. We're growing. We are not playing the teenager games anymore. Life is not meant to be high stress and strung out and constant drama filled. Like, yeah, everybody has bad shit that happens in their life. But we have to hang on to those people that are like glimmers. And be a boundary setting bitch.
I'm going to come by the next 8th. I've just know I'm going to have a visual for y'all about boundaries. It's going to involve glitter.
We get a show and tell?
I'm going to show y'all what it looks like in real life.
There you go. Chart.
I love me a good chart.
Well, guys, keep the questions coming. Thank you so much for interacting with the show and with our socials. Make sure that you're following Danny. It's Miss Danny.
At your own risk.
on
Is
TikTok.
that my handle?
Miss Danny. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Make sure you're following the show. And don't forget to rate the show and leave a review. We love hearing from you guys. Share this episode with somebody that you feel needs to hear it, whether they're on this side of the page or maybe this is your breakup episode to send to somebody. Send this to the
If
friend.
you need us to break up with somebody for you, I will do that for you. Yes, I will. Oh my God. And I have an outfit that I can wear for y'all to do it in. Yes, I do. I have 2. It just came in from Shein. I got you. Send it in. You need a friend breakup? I got it. No, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's going to be great.
I'm scared.
Can't wait.
Well, guys, we'll see you next time.
Oh.
Fucking razzle dazzle,
Razzle
bitch.
dazzle.